JRSV service today in the way of oil filter housing. I don't remember if we talked about this before, so forgive me if we have. We're going to go through it again. Before the rebuild, I noted when we started the car, we had a red oil light on the cluster indicating low oil pressure or extremely low oil, one of those two things, for maybe 2 or 3 seconds after startup. And it was just always that way, and the oil level was right, so I didn't worry about it. And then we rebuilt the engine and we replaced every single electronic component and plastic and rubber and anything that wasn't made of straight aluminum. And even the things made of aluminum were remachined and cleaned and reassembled like a new motor. So I was a little bit baffled why we still had that red light indicating inadequate pressure. We also had a secondary issue of set the oil level when it's cold, drive it a day, and then you check it again when it's warm, and it's totally different by like a liter. And it was Nate's foresight that enabled this for me, and I very much appreciate your input, Nate. But in the bottom of the oil filter housing on the M54 is a one-way valve, a check valve that is supposed to trap the oil in the filter housing and not allow it to drain back into the pan or back into the sump. And what we were experiencing is a failure of that valve, allowing oil to drain back into the sump after the car's been shut off and then sits for, 30 minutes or more. What that means is the engine fires, the oil pump kicks on, and it now has to refill the filter housing and the filter with oil. And that's approximately a liter, maybe a little bit less than an M54, call it 3/4 of a liter. And during that time, anything after the oil filter is kind of running on low pressure. I don't know if we're going to call it starvation, but something like the Vanos wouldn't like that long term. With everything new, it would be foolish to keep running the engine that way. So there's 2 options for that. BMW doesn't sell the valve, they only sell the entire filter housing. Nate found the valve available in Europe somewhere, I think Eastern Europe. Problem is, 1, it's an aftermarket valve. 2, the shipping is 5 times the price of the valve. And by the time you factor the valve, the shipping, tariffs, tax, all this other shit, it's like more expensive than just replacing the whole filter housing from BMW. So I ordered that and it went in today along with our 500-mile oil change. It's not quite 500 miles, it's like 400 miles. Close enough, 80% of the way there. So second oil service post-rebuild, new filter housing and valve. And when I started it this evening to come home, it was, pretty much as soon as the engine fired, the light went out. So I think we're gonna be okay there. I gotta talk to Martin tomorrow, make sure there's no excessive metallic shavings or anything in the oil filter. The oil itself looked okay. We'll get the levels adjusted right after driving it home tonight. But tomorrow we do the grand swap for the first time in about 3 weeks for the 540 to get the M5 back here for this weekend. We've got cars and coffee. We've got a beautiful weekend here weather-wise in town. So we want to take advantage of that. Adrian hasn't seen the M5 in 6 years. It is a much different, much improved car as it was then. So that's going to be this weekend. Also got a light service, mostly cosmetic, for the 540 tomorrow. With parts prices doing what they're doing and import duties doing what they're doing, it is time to address some of the cosmetic issues with the 540. And that's the wiper arms, the intake boxes, the gaskets, the 2 L-shaped and the straight one across the cowl, some things like that. There's a bad hose that I had between like the intake duct as it goes into the throttle body, and then it must go back to some other hose on the back of the engine. I don't know. But I got the hose, it's cheap, and we're gonna put it in tomorrow. So if time allows, we'll get that taken care of tomorrow. But Adrian and Ken are going to stop by the shop tomorrow. Last time Adrian was in there, it was a shop built around dismantling wrecked E39 M5s for parts. And wow, we are not that anymore. We are a completely different operation and significantly more established and capable and competent and experienced. So I very much look forward to showing him the facility tomorrow and the strides that we've made over the last 6/10 of a decade. I'm gonna get to bed, talk to you guys tomorrow on Friday.